Hello everyone, welcome to the Sportscast. It's me, Andy Grant. I've got Gary Judge with me from Across the Park podcast, who is sunning himself up in Salou, I believe.
Yeah, Salou, yeah. They're all thereabouts.
It's a work trip, so I can't give you too much stick, so I'll let you off. As you know, we would normally be in the Feathers at the bottom of Harris Drive on Hawthorne Road. They're our proud sponsors of this, well, the Sportscast in general, even though it's online this week. Right, we're going to get straight into it. International week, so there's not loads to get through, but there are some mad stories in the world of sport, mainly football, which we will touch upon. But first, though, we'll keep it on Merseyside, kicking off with, we always seem to start with Everton, and we'll continue to do so because there was a couple of big talking points, I think, and I know one of them we definitely disagree on. So 0-0 draw, fair play, you absolutely nailed it with your Mr. Greg predictions of Anthony Gordon either having a worldie or having an absolute nightmare, and thankfully for you it was the latter. He had the opportunity to score the winning pen, or potentially could have been the winning pen. Fluffed his lines, Pickford got the better of him with the mind games. Not only did, I think, who was your player, the centre mid, who ran and jumped in his face celebrating? Takora, yeah.
Keowness.
He made very Keowness, yeah, he made sure to let Andy Gordon know how he felt, as did the fans, as did Everton's Twitter a couple of days later. Now, I'll be honest, I only seen it after Jamie Carragher quote retweeted it, and everyone will all the Blues listeners will say, fucking hell, he's just licking Carragher's ass, jumping on the same
you just jumped on Carragher's opinion, yeah.
But I thought he absolutely nailed it, to be honest. I thought, yeah, once I saw Jamie's opinion on it, I think I have my own to say it. And again, people will come back, very similar arguments, but both, I'm sure they went on all in the boozers as well. I just think, Everton, whether you're, the biggest fan in the world, you'll be the first to admit you've had some tough times these past few years. He left under tough circumstances. The club weren't going well. He's a top quality player. He wants to play Champions League football.
Yeah. You're right, yeah. Well.
You got 40 million for him. Listen, fair game. The fans having a pop. That's what football's about. The banter between each other's fans and the players, etc. I get all that. But I just thought from an official club account to kind of mock a young lad, especially when on one hand, which somebody should, the support and Dele Alli in aspect, but then you could go right down the other extreme and go, what happens if Anthony Gordon turns around in a couple of years and say, well, the abuse on social media was a bit too much, when Everton Twitter knows that's going to, do you know what I mean, project more of the same. Do you not agree?
No. I think two things, really. I think you reap what you sow. You say that he was there during a tough time, and he was, but he left us at a tough time. And not only, you could argue that we needed the money, but he made it very difficult for the club to not sell him and to not sell him in that particular window and to not take the offer that was on the table. Now, I'm not saying that at that moment in time, Anthony Gordon was worth more than 40 million. I'm not saying that he was, he was thriving at Everton, etc. But the narrative that he was, completely behind the club and he was giving us all for the cause is nonsense. Anyone who watches Everton on a regular basis knows that he down tools, know that he was sulking. The club know better than the fans how him and his agent conducted themselves during that period. And I don't think the club even come close to mocking Anthony Gordon unless he made things very difficult for us, which he absolutely did. So I've got no sympathy whatsoever for Anthony Gordon, not least because of the fact that he took the chance to grin at the Gazza feet when he got that pen, as if to say, watch me now, took this away. So, listen,
I did notice that. He seems to have a lot of glee, didn't he, this was his chance to get the foot over. He was absolutely buzzing.
He was relishing it, yeah. Now, look, if there's a different circumstance and we're mocking Anthony Gordon's personal life and something he's gone off the pitch, then yeah, that's below the belt. But it's something he's done on the pitch. It's something that he gets paid a lot of money to do and to do well. He didn't do it particularly well. And the club has took their chance to go, well, up yours, Anthony, because you've come back and you've not shown that you are the player that we should afford to keep.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Listen, you know more about the situation than me. I just thought that was seemed a little bit schoolboy from Everton's Twitter. But listen, again, you know more about it than me.
Look, I'm not saying that yours and Jamie's and everyone else's opinion is not valid, and there's definitely an argument there. It wasn't like he had to do it. He didn't have to go out the way to do it, so it was slightly unnecessary. But also, I think
it's a bit petty, wasn't it? Petty, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it was a bit petty, but I think the fans enjoyed it, and that's what listen, that's what social media admins are there to do, isn't it? To get the attention of the followers and to get appreciation, and he definitely got that.
No, totally. The other point, which I think we actually agree on this one, was whether it was a penalty, Calvert-Lewin. I don't think it was at all. I think the defender's got his leg in the way. Calvert-Lewin's kicked his leg. Although I'm still seeing people saying it is a penalty. How that is a pen, I mean, I think the referee's got it right. What do you think on
that? I think the referee's got it right, but for a slightly different reason. I would say if someone puts the leg in front of the kicker's kicking leg anywhere else on the pitch, he probably gets a free kick for it. But that said, if shortly after that someone gets a shot off, he doesn't get a free kick for it. Ganagai should just put that second one away. And I think if that ball doesn't drop to an Everton player, you could argue Calvert-Lewin's been obstructed and therefore it's a foul. But I think the fact that the ball goes our way after it and Ganagai actually has a better chance than Calvert-Lewin had in the first place, I think that cemented as not being a penalty.
And in general of the game, I mean, it was always going to be a tough game. It was one of those, if you'd won it, wouldn't have surprised me. If you'd got beat, it wouldn't have surprised me. And it ended the draw, it didn't surprise me. I mean, what was your kind of view? Want to get happy with the point?
Yeah, it was encouraging because, as I've spoke at length about last week, I think it was about the influence of Jared Banthwaite being without him again and having Michael Keane come in and the awful XG against that we've got with Michael Keane and the team. Getting a clean sheet is a good result. You're obviously giving yourself a chance to win the game when you're at a clean sheet. We'd scored a good goal that was marginally offsides, which was encouraging. A very good goal, in fact. So I thought it was a poor game. To be honest, it was a game where they had the lion's share of possession, which I know you're always keen to point out that they had a lot of possession, but so does every other team against Sean Dyche pretty much. And they didn't have a lot of quality. They didn't really create that many chances, and we were just fighting for scraps really. So it wasn't a great game, in my opinion. I heard a lot of people on the pundits on TalkSport talking about how it was a really entertaining game. I think it was only entertaining because of the penalty and little bits like that. I didn't particularly enjoy it as a fan, but good point.
I think the entertaining aspect probably comes out. I mean, you could just see the crowd when the whole Gordon thing, even in the pub I was in the Feathers watching it. It was like the kind of, oh God, this is going to be interesting. So it probably does leave you thinking, fuck, and it that kind of makes it probably the match seem more exciting than it actually was.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the international break now, so a week or two to kind of get your head around what's going on, and then before you know it, we'll do a proper review of this. But Ipswich, Fulham, Southampton, West Ham, Brentford. You could even go as far as say United and Wolves next. I mean, it's not a bad run of fixtures for you, then, is it?
No, it's not. It's been a positive couple of weeks. Obviously, getting the first win and then getting the clean sheet off. First win and first clean sheet in consecutive weeks. Given where we were 2 weeks ago, you could definitely talk that with a bit, you bit your hands off for that.
Yeah.
And you've got the news that come out yesterday. The Freaking Group have officially set up a UK holding company, which is the next step towards being ratified by the Premier League to the takeover. So it's on and off the pitch. It's been a good few weeks for the club. So hopefully we can get that takeover done the next few weeks and go into those fixtures with a bit of positive momentum.
Well, the other bits on Everton before we move on, I seen Begovic is back in the mix. I don't know if you've seen it. So year on after leaving, Asmir Begovic agreed to return to Merseyside after enjoying regular football in the Championship at QPR.
Just numbers. Just a goalie thing. I think João Virginia got injured, so it means like there's just a couple of kids on the bench at the moment. So I think he's just putting a senior pro in the squad really to fill a gap. I don't think it's till the end of the season. I think it's just till January actually.
Oh really? Yeah. Another one which as well be interesting to get your opinion on is I've seen that Everton have been warned over hiring bitter and dour Jose Mourinho. It's been rumoured obviously that the new owners might want a new change of manager, and Mourinho is being hinted at. What would be your thoughts on
that? No, not for me. I'm not saying I'm turning my nose over Jose Mourinho. Listen, I love Jose Mourinho as a manager, and the legacy he'll have in the Premier League will go on, will be forever intact, I think. But he's not the same Jose Mourinho that come to the Premier League 15, 20 years ago. There's the last few jobs he's left in a cloud of, not necessarily controversy, but just bitterness. obviously the rumour, it comes from the fact that as soon as the Freaking Group took over Roma, they brought Mourinho in. But he did leave under, quite controversial circumstances, so I don't think it would be, for me, even a rumour that makes sense. But if it was, let's say it was, no, I think I'd say to Evertonians, you go, oh, yeah, he'll win things and blah, blah, blah. Sean Dyche hasn't won things, but he's won games, and yet the fans hate the style of football. It's not going to be much different than Mourinho. You maybe just have some of the players on the pitch that you put on 300 grand a week, and they might be his show ponies, but it's not going to be a great style of football, and he's probably going to take us backwards in terms of the management of the wages and stuff like that by bringing in some players on big money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same as you. I was a massive fan of Mourinho, 15, 20 years ago, but I mean, he definitely isn't the same Mourinho. However, I think it's only Spurs is his only job that he's been at where he's not won anything. So, do you know what I mean? He is still, I mean, he did get Spurs to a final and he was sacked for it just a few days before it. But, I mean, he has still got something about him, clearly. But, yeah, whether he's the right fit for Everton is another story. I mean, the last bit on Everton, which I think is a massively close call that you've had, which is thankfully, it didn't go that way. But the 7-7 partners have fell into bankruptcy. I mean, this is just months after they consider, what would you say, weeks away? The owners and the company's assets have now all been put up for sale. So, massively dodged the bullet. Right, maybe we'll move on to the red side, the Merseyside then. Listen, I've just looked at the league table, and I know you're arguing, and you said we said it the other day. I mean, who have we played? We've not really done anything, that kind of stuff. But
only beat what's in front of you, mate.
Only beat what's in front of us, and I think if anyone had said from the first, from this international window, we'd be sitting top of the league. We've won more games than anyone in the Prem. We've conceded less than anyone in the Prem. Got a better goal difference than anyone in the Prem. We've got more points than anyone in the Prem. You'd take that after 7 games. So, this whole kind of era under Klopp, I mean, it's not going to be judged on the first 7 games, of course it's not, but 2 wins in Europe, 6 out of 7 in the league, 2 in the League Cup. I don't think you can have many complaints about this new kind of era, if you like. And that's yeah. No, I was just going to say it started again. Well, at the weekend, sorry, it was just another very routine victory. I thought they played fantastic first half against Palace. Really, really good first half, dominated in all areas. I think the possession at one point was something about 75% or something. We absolutely battered them. Let them into it a bit in the second half, and Alisson, I think, made 3 unbelievable saves. But despite them making 3 great saves, I'll be honest, I didn't feel like we were ever going to let them back in. It just felt pretty comfortable. I just thought, tough place to go, Palace. It can be at times. We've got a pretty good record there, but you see, I think the last time we were beat was that time when that crazy game in 2014. I think that was the last time we beat. So we did have a good record there. But I do always think, going down there can be tough, and a nice 1-0 victory on the road, you can't be sniffed at. So, again, another positive. The one big negative, though, was obviously losing Alisson. I reckon he's going to be out for 6 weeks now. And we spoke just then about the kind of easy running that we've had. Our next games are Chelsea, Leipzig, Arsenal, Brighton, Leverkusen, Villa, Southampton. And then he should be back there, but if he's not, it's Real Madrid, City, Newcastle, Everton. It's a really tough run they've got now for the next kind of 6 to 8 weeks, which is the type of injury he's got, this hamstring. So I think
Just while we're on the Alisson injury and on what's happened to Comey and Kelleher? Is he not there? Is he injured? Is he on loan? And why did the other kid come on?
I fully expect him to be in goal for the next kind of 6 to 8 weeks when Alisson's out, but he just had an illness, like a kind of 24-hour bug. Yeah. You won't have been the only one who's watching the match thinking, who the fuck is this kid coming on now?
I think it's a typo. It's not on flash screen when I see it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit concerning with Reds. He is injured a lot. I mean, I'm not suggesting that he's injury prone, we fuck him off. I just think, unfortunately, he's that good. You just have to accept that. He does get injured a bit. Maybe he was rushed back, I don't know, from his last injury. I think it's the same injury, a hamstring, but yeah.
Maybe he's too much moaning about the minutes on the pitch, and it's kind of got to him.
Well, isn't it funny? calm now. It like
a few players who come out publicly and spoke about it have actually got injured, but it's one of them. Anyone who works with psychologists and stuff will talk about the importance of the minds, and so many people who've had bad illnesses or injuries have spoke about how important it is to be positive and to if you're the other way and you're thinking you're going to get injured or whatever, there's a good chance you might get injured.
No, totally. And funny old thing, I mean, I hope I'm not jinxing it here, but another one who's come out to back Rodri and Alisson, who, like I say, are both now injured, is Kanate. He's come out saying that he would support a player's strike to ease the workload. He says this just before he boards a plane to go and jump up at the internationals.
Yeah,
I mean, if you were that bothered, right, you just wouldn't go on international duty, would you? If you were that bothered about your health and you're preparing to go on strike, you'd just say to your international boss.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not just about like the minutes on the pitch, isn't it? It's talking about the travelling and away from home and stuff. Yeah, you're jumping on a plane, you're going to have some jet lag, you're going to be travelling, whatever, 7-8 hours or something to wherever he's playing.
Yeah. So, he's the one who's come up moaning about it. And he's also, I don't know why he's so excited to go away with France anyway, because he's been overlooked for the France captaincy. He was reportedly, I think everyone's seen in that interview after the game, he was kind of bigging himself up, saying he should have got man of the match. I think he's been doing the same in France, saying I should be the next captain. In the absence of Kylian Mbappe, he was kind of thinking he'd be next on the list, but it's gone to an old Liverpool target, Tchouameni. Is that how you say his name?
Tchouameni,
yeah. He's been announced as the temporary captain. So Kanate's moaning so much about the workload. He should just go on strike for France. He's not happy that he's not been made vice captain either. But that's that. But yeah, with regards to kind of Liverpool signing off before the international break, just solid performance, and again, buzzing to see that top of the league. However, slightly kind of slightly worried just about the next kind of 6 to 8 weeks. Not just because of Alisson, but just the fact of the fixtures. It is going to be a tough run of games. We did have some questions as well, just on general footy. One of them, Michael Tate, wants us to talk about the DCL penalty, which we've already mentioned. On Liverpool, we've just mentioned Liverpool. Then on Klopp, it's been announced now he's been given a new role. Cal messaged him with that, wants us to mention that. He's basically going to be, let me get this term right, he is head of global soccer at Red Bull. So he's going to be, let's see, they own several, what do you say?
What a jolly up.
I know. So they own several clubs, including Leipzig.
No coincidence that Pep Linders is the first team coach at Salzburg.
Although they don't have a say. They just sponsor them. Yeah, they don't have a say.
Yeah. And now I'm sure Salzburg, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm sure they might have some say on them, but so Klopp will take the position on the 1st of Jan. I'll be responsible for the group's football activities in addition to the clubs in Leipzig, Salzburg, Red Bull. Also operates teams in New York, Brazil, and Japan.
Fist bumps everywhere.
I mean, it does sound like it. Yeah, I mean, number one, I cannot see him sitting behind the desk 9 till 5. So there you go. No. He's not going to be on. It says there clearly he's not going to be on a football pitch, so he's not doing that.
No.
It's just going to be going around networking, seeing facilities.
People and giving people hugs.
If I was you, I'd do it this way, that way. Oh, and by the way, my missus is in tow there. We're going to go on holiday for a few days after this. I mean,
has a global motivation.
Does he need anyone to carry his bags and whisper sweet nothings in his ear? Because I'd do that. I mean, listen, fair play to him, but you know what? He's in this kind of stratosphere of managers, which is it's unheard of, really. He's never been sacked. You think about that. Right. He's got, he was a player manager for Mainz. Got them promoted, got them relegated, got a real affinity with the fans. Leaves after 7 years, a club legend. Goes to Dortmund, gets to the Champions League final, wins the league, dethrones Bayern. Has a little dip off, but leaves himself because he thinks the club will be better in other places' hands. Leaves a legend. Comes to Liverpool, wins the league for the first time in 30 years, wins the Champions League, wins every trophy possible. He himself says it's time for me to go. Leaves a legend. And now he's got a job of head of global football, just like you say, hugging people around the world. It's like he's absolutely nailed football, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's nailed life, to be fair. I've seen him. And again, I said so many times when I was an Everton fan, like, he hated them because he was like hard to hate.
Yeah.
at times. At times,
Totally,
beggars would the worst times, and I hate the stuff.
I totally get it if you're in blue, do you know what I mean? You got an Nathan, but I mean, as a footy fan, you just got to, so you have
Yeah,
to.
definitely.
Another mate one from Gav on our Instagram, he said the use of VAR. Well, I've not actually seen these two. I have seen them, but not in detail. He mentions the Villa goal against Bayern. Apparently his knee was off, might have been, he just says the Villa goal, but then the Arsenal goal against Southampton. Apparently there were two VAR decisions. One was at the wrong angle and things like that. I think this leads into another point I was going to mention, just about VAR, the officials. You look at what's going on in the court at the moment with Man City. We said it months ago. Football, I don't
Just keep
ever
them a sideshow.
football. Yeah, it's just not about what's going on in the pitch anymore, is it? You've got VAR officials, or VAR reviews getting reviewed and overturned. You've got angles not being drawn at the right thing. You had Liverpool's goal last season, which was a farce. You've got all these issues with referees, VAR. You've got all these issues in the courtrooms now. I didn't realise Man City were in the court the other day, not even linked to the 115 charges. This was against something else.
Well,
we're claiming victory over it. It's just like...
It wasn't like 315 charges, but it was a victory which will assist them massively with the 115 charges, because a lot of the income that they were claiming is legitimate, and the Premier League were claiming was illegitimate due to PSR regulations is now deemed legitimate. So, yeah, you're right. It's just the circus, and it's hard to keep up. But on the VAR front, I'm still a firm advocate in the sense that you can't just get rid of technology. It's the use of technology that we're getting wrong. And there will still be errors, because the people who are using technology have still got to interpret it. They've still got to make decisions until it's automated. So you've got semi-automated offsides now, which I think is progress. You look at the way semi-automated offsides are used, and they're so accurate and it's so quick. The sooner we get closer to that, there's only the certain decisions you can't automate it. It's so much. You talk about the Calvert-Lewin one. By definition, it is a foul, because Calvert-Lewin is in possession of the ball. He's meant to kick it, and the defender's put his leg in the way. Okay, he was running normally, so he's not meant to do it, but he's done it. So by definition, it's a foul. But the perception, your perception, my perception, someone else's, I'm sure the listener or the viewer who sent the question has probably got a strong opinion on it as well. But I'm not saying anyone's right or wrong, but it's human error, isn't it? And it's
totally, yeah. It's always very subjective, isn't it? I just wish we just
even that rule,
that.
even the rule in the City got the other day, that's subjective. Like, to say that your owner's companies can sponsor you is fair enough, because that happens in every other walk of life. But to say that they can't, there's a good reason why they can't. But you know what I mean? Again, it's perception, but it gets people talking, but I don't think it gets people talking as you're getting after the right reasons. We're not talking about the football, we're not talking about that red card for that scandalous foul or whatever, or that great goal or whatever. It's stuff that's...
No, exactly.
Not for the
exactly, mate. Just a few other little mad stories on footy, because it's not a long show this week. Again, stuff that's going on off the field. Sergio Aguero is still chasing Barca for outstanding wages. So Aguero managed just 5 appearances for Barcelona after joining City in 2001. He signed a 2-year contract, which obviously wasn't fulfilled. Yet the agreement between the parties stipulated that by giving up the second year, Barca agreed to pay him the first year in full. And this is where the problem arose. Barca reportedly refused and still refused to pay him €3 million. The reason? Barca claimed that the footballer suffered from heart problems before joining the club. So Barca are saying, this is an absolutely devastated legend in the game. We're really sorry about your heart condition. You know that you're going to have to retire. But you had the heart condition before you signed for us, so fuck you, not paying you. To the tune of €3 million, which is another story of off-the-field news that is dominating at the moment.
I mean, Barca are in a bit of turmoil, aren't they? I mean, that said, I'm going to Barcelona's new stadium tomorrow.
Have a word to Sergio for them, lad.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that both that stadium, you look around and you're like, wow, what a club this is. But then some of the issues they've got off the field in terms of finances and not being able to buy players, not being able to register them because not having them. So it's a mad one. They've got like 10 years, I think, before they pay off the loans that they've taken to pay back TV revenue. So they've claimed TV revenue like 10 years ahead.
Yeah, I remember seeing when
they got a tough time, yeah.
Last couple of bits on footy, mate. I think this, again, could be writing on the wall for Pep, maybe. So Tika Bergerstein, I think I say City's sporting director, he's going to leave the club at the end of the season. Now, is that the writing on the wall saying that Pep's going to be following suit? I don't know, but maybe it's the start of that whole Man City dominance starting to kind of one by one just starting to leave and sail off. And yeah, I hope sail off and spend that oil money somewhere other than the Premier League. Maybe, I don't know, but it's the sporting director's leaving at the end of the season. Other little bit, mate. We have Paul Pogba, who was banned for, I think initially it might have been 3 years, is seen as ban reduced, so he should be able to play. He actually had a 4-year ban. It's been cut short to 18 months. He's expected to have offers in January.
Summer, isn't it? Can he play in the summer? Isn't
from March? It can be.
Oh, is it?
From March. So you'd expect clubs in January.
Is he released? Is he a free agent at the moment? Is he?
I think
Juve, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's Juve. So they're now in open talks to terminate his contract. He'll be a free agent soon. So you'd expect either Saudi or America, wouldn't you? I'm going to say America because I think he'll try and jump on the old PR wagon that is the American Football World Cup and watch that space. And the last one on footy, mate, was Stu asked a bit of a mad one. He just said, if Gazza was playing now and injury-free, what would his market value be?
I think you're talking like, I mean, let's look at players who are English who've gone for big money last few seasons. Jack Grealish being the most expensive of them. What was he? 80-odd million, was it? 90?
It was close to 100, wasn't it?
100 million, yeah.
That's the comparison I was going to draw straight away. I just thought 100 million Jack Grealish.
I mean, let's say Gazza, who's not got any off the field issues, he's like Iniesta level, isn't he? You know, in terms of like just controlling the game himself. I think you'd have to say 150 million.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
No, I'm not going that big. I'm going to say around 80, 90, 100.
Nah, he's better than Jack Grealish. He's better than Jack Grealish on his best day, on Gazza's worst day. All Gascoigne in his peak. All Gascoigne in his peak. 150 million, no problem.
Just think he was a little bit before our time for us to really appreciate him.
No, Euro 96 wasn't quite before my time. I was 11, Euro 96, so I
remember 96, but
I remember him when I was like into Italian footy, like 7 or 8, I think it was.
Yeah.
Guys, he was real, mate. So, I mean, he was probably a little bit too. I was a bit too young then, but I'm going 1.5 the price of Grealish.
Fair enough. Right, mate. Only going to touch on tennis and boxing very quickly.
We do boxing first because I'm conscious because if this show is cut short, it'll be because my battery and my laptop's going. So you've got to say, obviously, massive hats off to Nick Ball, first of all. Another devastating victory. Back in his, obviously, back where he wanted to be fighting. And yeah, I mean, probably up there with one of his toughest opponents so far. He gave him some difficult rounds, but again, it's just his engine comes through and is absolutely devastating power and relentlessness.
He's not scared to take a punch either, is he? You know, he had a bloody nose and yet still coming forward, just like you say, relentless.
He takes some shots, doesn't he? And Muskie put in the group the other day, didn't he? The card, obviously, for the AJ, sorry, my goodness, the Usyk rematch with Tyson Fury, and what a card it is, and obviously great to see Peter McGrail on there, Muskie's cousin, and again another great win for the McGrails the other night as well. But that's some fight, you know, Peter McGrail and Dennis McCann will be one for the ages, and the first competitions as well will be just as interesting.
Dennis McCann's training out through Thunder, isn't he?
He has been, with Joe and Declan,
yeah. Wow,
it's going to be feisty, that. The Isaac Lowe fight's a good one as well. Johnny Fisher and Dave Allen, is an absolute slugfest. And obviously the top of the card, Usyk and Fury. 21st of December, Fury, from what I've seen him publicly, seems in a good place. He seems in good shape. He seems chirpy. Usyk is doing what he does and just getting on with things behind the scenes. And and a massive fight this weekend as well.
Huge fight.
Better be Ev against Dmitry Bivol.
Both unbeaten as well. Absolutely. I didn't realise they were both unbeaten. I mean, come from that kind of Russian kind of out that part of the world, both unbeaten. I think is it Bivol has beat Usyk, I think, in amateurs.
Bivol, I think Bivol comes out on top for me. Better be Ev is just pure steel, just granite, just walks through people. And Bivol was a lot more measured. I think he'll just have to measure him with the jab, and I think he'll get inside a little bit more often. I just think it'll be a punch go. Better be Ev's going to be going for the knockout, but I don't think he'll hit Bivol enough to get it.
Yeah, and then the other one is Woodley and Clark as well.
Again, that first one was unbelievable. So yeah, it's a great weekend of boxing. Looking forward to it. And again, in case this cuts off, we've got to touch on our wins from last weekend.
Yeah, so you correctly said Will Hughes would get booked. I think he was on the pitch 15 minutes and got a yellow, which one of the, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but someone messaged me on Instagram. He put a nice 50 quid on it as soon as he got brought on, and it come in winning 450 quid. Yeah. I had then my treble come in, which paid 4-1, which was nice. So yeah, we were both on the money. And our bets will be up again this weekend on Patreon. I make conscious of you, mate, about being away. Your phone's going to go. The last thing we will say, I'm actually quite sad about this. Wimbledon will replace in the tennis next year line judges with electronic line calling system. So you used to have kind of people from like 16 to 60, kind of playing the part and all that, and they've all been fucked off by AI.
Yeah,
I guess it's the way of the world, isn't it?
We're talking about technology. How often do you see players get frustrated with line calls, and then you're waiting to hotline and stuff? I think the semi-automated one, a bit like the offsides, is inevitable. And it is semi-automated. I'm not surprised. I don't think they'll actually won't be there. I just think they won't be making the actual physical calls anymore. With like a backup to say.
Well, just looking standard. No. Just get a load of mannequins there instead.
But you're still going to have lines in footy, aren't you?
Yeah, but in tennis, they've actually been fucked off, though. In Wimbledon's statement, they said they're trying to balance tradition with innovation.
Okay, well, we'll see how that gets on. I think it's one of them things.
I know you'd like to see a load of like kind of old ladies standing there still putting their hands up, but it's gone, mate. It's all going to be AI.
Fair enough.
Right, listen, mate. I know your phone's about to die.
The kids still get to run on and pass them to the players.
Yeah, I think the ball boys are still there. Yeah. Although that wouldn't surprise me. A few more years, you'll have like these robot tubers going around picking the ball up probably, but for now the ball boys stay. Right, listen, mate. I know you've had to stop your kind of day.
I'm not sure this, but because literally I'm on 1%. But one to look out for in the darts, the tournament on at the moment. I think it's the Players' Championship. But for those who are fair weather darts fans, watch it because you have to start each leg by getting a double. So you got to start the leg with a double and finish one. It's interesting because like some of the better players at times can struggle on doubles, so it can bring up some shock. It's like funny thing to watch. Like I turned it on the other night, didn't know what I was watching, as in like the rules of it. I was like, "What's he doing there? He's just missed the board."
You have to have a little look at that. Yeah. Sweet, mate. Well, listen, enjoy the sun. I'll see you when you're back. And for everyone who's listening, please like, share, comment, get involved on Patreon for our tips, and we'll see you next week.